we have seen this movie before, and it was the exercise by the tobacco industry to try to hoodwink and cover up the science of the devastating toxicity that they were involved in for decades. And it actually worked for decades. And we have seen a similar effort to hoodwink and defraud and deceive the American public now to cover up the toxicity to the world environment and ultimately to our own health of carbon dioxide and other climate change gases. And they have used every trick in the book, including the ones that we will investigate today. But I just want to note that they are now failing. The tobacco industry got its comeuppance, if you will, and justice triumphed ultimately. And that's what's going on right now in the climate change debate, where you see in the U.S. Senate, members of the U.S. Senate on a bipartisan basis finally coming out to move on based on the science, which is now becoming dominant in the discussion. The second thing I want to note is that this is not the only continuing effort to deceive the American public. I want to note a book called Freakonomics, or SuperFreakonomics, that some authors wrote, that basically asserted we don't have to control CO2, we'll just pump sulfur dioxide up into the atmosphere and that'll solve the problem. They purported to quote a scientist named Ken Caldeira from Stanford, who's one of the predominant researchers in ocean acidification, to suggest that Dr. Caldeira didn't think we should control CO2, which is an absolute deception. Dr. Caldeira, I've spoken to personally. He's told me we have to solve ocean acidification. You can't solve ocean acidification without controlling CO2, and yet people are still trying to write books to deceive the American public. And we got to blow the whistle on them. We're blowing the whistle on one today. We'll continue to do it because ultimately science is going to triumph in this discussion. Thank you.